check. 1, 2, roll. You do know that Mohegan Sun there is for a sovereign nation, a race of endangered human species, as well as the Pequots over in Ledyard say. So what they says in that last advertisement is correct. Uncas made peace, sort of, with the settlers, sort of. They decided not to go to war with the settlers. Not that they made peace with them. They were turned into slaves for like hundreds of years. They didn't make peace. They just didn't go to war. They stood neutral and they stood their ground. While the other, like 3/4 of the race of humans called, and they're split into tribes now. So it's very risque, So there was two tribes in 1690 A.D. when they had a little war, and everyone that voted Pequot or wanted to go west was called Pequot, all the Sun said. And they all said nope, and they left or they fought the settlers as hard as they could, said. And everyone that stayed went neutral with the settlers, gave in to Christ and all sorts of new things from Europe and such, were called Mohegans. Now they're both the same human race. It's the name that's on the earth that takes it in. Call them whatever you want. Um, they're endangered. They're like, so they said Pequots are fox people and Mohegans are wolf people. Well, before the settlers were here, they were both wolf people. They're werewolves. They were both considered the New London werewolves, the New England werewolves. They're the USA in that particular portion of the planet where the terrain is the same. They're not from the Midwest. They're not from the South Mason-Dixon. They're not from Louisiana. They're from New England as far as, it's not tundra, it's New England. And they're werewolves. Or were. Now we'll look at who has the most money, because whoever has the most money has the most knowledge, obviously. I guess. So in the last advertisement, it was somewhat correct, And I was looking for Mohegan tribe, and I found a few, and one of them was my least favorite. Melissa Tanaquidgeon. Nope. Stop. Click. Dislikes. Back. Delete. Forget about me. Please. You're not related to Tanaquidgeons. You're like a 64th Pequot, and you're the head of Mohegan tribal something. And you're like a 64th Pequot, making like $30 million a year for doing nothing at all. And you're unhealthy on top of it. I just like, nope, couldn't do it. Ages 0 through 16, when you live with Gladys Tanaquidgeon, says, and you're John the Bull's great grandson, related to Mohegan, that dated your great grandpappy or whatever 6 generations back on the men's side through Swedish hierarchy in 1790 AD. Your Mohegan from 1790 AD bloodline, as well as John the Bull, John Hyde. He died in 1950, but before he did that, he made 2 daughters, and one of them was my granny. And you know how gosh darn long I've been waiting for a check? Since 1996. They just can't decide whether to give me any, and I'm a 6th Mohegan. Now, when I look at it over and over, I'm like, well, I'm only 15.75%. Well, Mima was 100%. So they probably give whoever's between 100 and 25% money first. Duh. They just haven't gotten to the mudblood yet, as far as I can tell. And then I look around and I see about 2,500 164th Mohegan making $3,000 a month for nothing at all. Nothing at all. Or $6,000 a month. $6,500 a month for nothing at all. Nothing at all. And they're 164th Mohegan. That means they're like 3.25 or less percent Mohegan. They might not even be Mohegan. They might be 3.25% Pequot. And they're making $66,500 a month for nothing at all. 3.25%.
or less. They're like a 64th Pequot, and they're getting Mohegan heritage checks for the rest of their life, ever since they presented themselves and passed all the bells and whistles and tests of everything set. And for some reason or another, Mohegan Tribe just went, no time. No time for you. So I'm going to put that one on next. It's the Guess Who. It's the Guess Who. Check. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1.